Hello, brothers and sisters. Raven here. Today will hopefully be short. There was a recent Q&A done where they went through a few things that have been discussed to an extent in the conference. However, here Ozzy kind of says it a little more bluntly and kind of shows what they were hiding. As I said, they were trying to be very humble, sound very humble, simply by not using titles. And yet, that doesn't tell us anything about their practices. So somebody posed a question asking a little bit more of, by these titles or by not using them, is there any authority? Is there any hierarchy, etc., within the church, within Homestead? And this is one of the few times I've seen him answer up front. He still complicates it slightly, but he's coming out and saying it. So here it is.
Well, so first of all, we would say that there is a difference between the order of giftings and the authority of a person. So as a brother, as a person, I am your brother, you are my brother, regardless of the gifting that you may have, which I might be submitting to.
Amen. Now, what he says after this, most of it is just him trying to make it sound better than what he just said. But there's one part in particular I want to show, because what he's doing here is he's trying to take this hierarchy they're creating, they're forming, and give a sort of justification of it. So watch this.
So to ask, is it a hierarchy? The short answer is no. To say, is there no order or linear order in it? That's not true either. It's complex, and as well it should be.
Why should it be? I don't see a reason it needs to be. And this whole thing of hierarchy, let me show you one big problem with it. Consider Mark 9:35. And Jesus sat down and called the 12, and he said to them, if anyone would be first, he must be last of all and servant of all. Now, what Ozzy tries to do is he's trying to make it sound like you yourself are not claiming this authority, but you have this title that has the authority. So it's complex. However, no, here it says to have this title. So it is focusing on the title, not the person. It says a servant of all. This isn't about being above. This is about being able to serve all. He's trying to make this something it isn't. And he's making excuses. Now, the way he does do this, try to make excuses, is by bringing in the person, the individual, which is very ironic. However, every time he brings up the person, he has to then go and make sure he clarifies that this person is defined by the body. So once again, even in this case, when it's a little side note, he has to clarify, this isn't really your identity, this is the identity of the body. So if that's the case, how can you really separate these two of the title and the person if the person really isn't there? It's within the body, because that's what the title's about, is where you're at in the body. See the problem? He is saying that the part where you can't really put this kind of level, this kind of hierarchy, is the part that they've thrown out. Everything they have, everything that makes them them, gives them this authority. Indirectly, he is claiming the authority, because he's acting as Christ, so of course he has the authority. even in the parts where he's being a little more straightforward, he is still being sly and still trying to deceive. Don't trust him. But even beyond that, do not rely on him. Do not assume you are too stupid or foolish to understand on your own. Think through it. Look at what he's saying. Compare the different things he says. Look at the full picture of what he's teaching and what he's doing. It's relying on him or any leader to show you what it means. When you rely on them to tell you everything, to explain everything to you, to give you the way you need to put it, you are putting them as God. Because you're treating their words as perfection. And you're putting who is supposed to be the servant above you. That's not the way Scripture teaches it should be. They are your helper. But they're not there to take you out of the picture and force you into this body they're creating instead of the one God is building. It's his body, not theirs. But that's what they want it to be. I'll see you guys next time. God bless.